only for our own purposes. And thank you, Ziva, for assisting me onto this session.
Welcome.
Okay. So from the perspective of our class today, the first thing that I want to say is that with respect to Saturn, and before I come into the topic of Saturn, please do understand that there is nothing that you can escape. Whatever you might have thought in terms of whatever the ideology of Vedic science, what was portrayed to you by means of astrology or whatever hearsay you had. Imagine you go to a bank and you took a loan. Which bank will let you go without paying you the principal? So it is never going to be possible that you are just going to escape your karma. It is simply that you need to pay your debts. That's another way. That means your debt could be you are paying it, you might be receiving it, or you might be just one kind of a witness to the debt program in front of you. In terms of whatever I'm going to explain today, I will tell you. So kindly be patient. So before I start with my session, and those who have not, who are on, who are not, kindly mute yourself on your own in case you find that you are, unmuted. So it will be good for me not to be disturbed in the session. So before I start this, our small gratitude to Lord Vishnu for letting this session happen. For a person like me who is not even capable to understand the A and Z of the Vedic science, to be able to understand this and deliver it to you. Our gratitude to Lord Ganpati, because without him, nothing is possible. And third, my own Ishta, Vishwakarma, for guiding me onto the path of the Vedic science. So before I move into the main session, thank you for all of you to take out your time and attending this session. And why did I say thank you? More in terms of gratitude for the effort that I might have put in to deliver this to you. Eventually, it is always going to be beneficial for you. It's not like it's only a one-sided approach. So remember that for me personally, Vedic science is like a temple. So kindly maintain that kind of a discipline and decorum. You do not go to a temple and you with some kind of thing, okay, I need to do my prayer fast and I want to go away and this like that. So please be a little patient, and only then believe that if you are here, then it's to be the power of now. So the mind always gives you an illusion. You are here, but your mind is in the Maldives. You are here, but your mind might be in the TV. You are here, but your mind might be wandering everywhere. Then what are you here to receive? So that is something that you must always look in terms of understanding this kind of a philosophy. In the world, I've seen in my interactions that there are only two types of people generally. One who believe in the Vedic science, or maybe who believe in something which is the higher consciousness, because I could never separate between both of them. So either there is some kind of a power, either there is some kind of divinity, whoever you may call it, in terms of Shiva or Jesus Christ or whoever it might be resonate to you, or you think there is only universe or there is power, there is this kind of a person. And the second kind of a person is, just give me a minute. I think somebody just called back for. I think people are not able to join with the passcode. I don't know. Okay, anyways. So what I foresee, sorry, on the second point, what I see, that people are generally on the other end looking at it in terms of non-belief system. So either you do not believe or you believe, but please don't be that it is something to be in between. That means a person wants to be either here or either there. So what you must understand, that you have to make a conscious decision that which path you want to follow. So what I foresee in the following years to come is going to be very turbulent, and we will not be able to escape. So I sincerely hope that I am wrong in whatever I'm going to tell you in today's forum. But through astrology, I will try to show you how beautifully you can see and connect with means of your chart. So astrology is going to be the key, and I'm going to show you how we can connect your chart and see as to what to come, and why I say that astrology is going to be key and Vedic science is going to give you this kind of an answer. There are never free lunches in anything. So remember that whatever I'm going to teach you today or I'm going to tell you today, at the end of the session, kindly please help somebody out in terms of uh, guiding them, in terms of uh, doing something for some needy, doing something for somebody good, in terms of whatever way you may, and that will really bring some kind of a resolution to me and to you in terms of what you have to achieve in terms of this lifetime. So what you need to understand from an astro tip, in the current domain of whatever is in terms of the transit, please see that the Mars currently is in a retrograde motion. So what is very important for you to understand, that for the next 7 days, please stay patient. Please maintain silence as much as possible, because if you are going to get into some kind of interaction, if you're going to get into some kind of a constant debate with somebody in terms of some situation, it might go out of your hand. So please be careful in terms of what is the transit going to talk about, in terms of what is going to be delivered. If somebody could just confirm that they entered the password Solmitra, which was capital, or it was just Solmitra. If you could, somebody could just type it out to me, because many said to me that the password is been showing Solmitra. Okay, capital. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. I think there is some issue with the Zoom, and there is having something like this. Okay, so now this is the part that I'm going to start with my main session. So kindly, if you want to, it would really help if you have your own chart, especially at only the first chart, which is the D1, which is the ascendant, or it is just okay if you have your, you know what ascendant you are, and that would also suffice. So before I begin, my gratitude to my mentors. I learned a lot from Sir K.N. Rao, Praveen Jain. There are a lot of people I can name, but what will be very surprising to you is that most of the astrological things that I know, look, I know very little, but what I always feel that my intention to help somebody is much higher. So what happens with me is, just before my session, 2-3 days prior to the session, there will be some information like a download coming to me, and I will be able to deliver something that the seeker needs to hear. So this is how Vedic science works. You cannot learn astrology by doing courses, by doing reading and things like that. The divine has to somehow give you this kind of a blessing. So gratitude to my family also to support me in whatever I do in the good interest of mankind, and they are also following the path, and I hope someday they will also join on the bandwagon of Solmitra and the common man's Drishti Sutram platform. So first of all, welcome. The Solmitra Samvad is the initiative basically to connect the common man to the true astrology and break the taboo of fear from planets. So today's class is very interesting, and I will tell you from respect to your own chart and showing you some of the example and what Saturn. See, people fear Saturn. I love Saturn. I will tell you also why. So my approach has always been to teach at every webinar, and I will look at the same way and the same perspective. And after the session, I will keep it open, and if you feel that you have time and you want to ask me some questions, I will definitely try to respond to that. And it is my belief system that Vedic science is very much divine. Have you ever wondered that I want to find a guru, but that guru doesn't come to me? So most of the people will always feel this turmoil. Now, why does that thing happen? It is very simple. When you look, I will explain to you by means of a chart. So if I look at a chart, and I'm trying to explain by means of if I take anybody's chart, So let's say, I hope if everybody can see my screen, and if you can just thumbs up, Ziva, are we clear?
We can
Okay.
see. It's clear.
So when we are looking at the Kal Purush Kundali is also known as the Aries ascendant. So if you have to know Lord Vishnu's Kundali, it will look something like this. What we are not going to do today, we are not also going to look at the planets in any way. So what I am doing very simply, that I am not putting any planets of Sri Vishnu's Kundali, it is just looking like numbers. So it starts with the number 1 in the first house, and then in the anti-clockwise direction, it will go to the 12th number sign. So what it means, very simple, is that if you want to find your Guru, the Guru position is the 9th house. Okay, 9 number. I'm just talking in a normal perspective. You do not have to look at your own chart. What you have to look at is just listen to me, what I'm trying to explain. So in the Vedic science, if we look at the Kal Purush Kundali, or the Kundali of the divine himself, then the 9th house is said to be the divine's Guru. That means the house of the Guru. And in the philosophical domain of the Vedic science, the 10 number represents the karma. So what it means, very simple, that if I count 10 places to the number 9, I will find how to find the Guru. So if I count 9 places or 10 places from the number 9, 1, 2, always remember when I say count from, you have to count from that house first. So from the 9 number, I count 9 as 1, 10 as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the 10th place from the 9th house is the 6th house. So what the divinity is trying to tell you in the general phenomena is, when you put your efforts towards the divine in terms of your daily efforts of routine, when you start meditating, when you start walking that path, in short, what he's trying to tell you is, when you become at least 15% capable to become a guru yourself, that is the time when the Guru will come in your life. This is a very simple secret of the Vedic science. So what you need to do is, while you are thinking in distress, I am looking for my Guru and I want to find my Guru and all of these things, you must make a conscious effort to become at least a 15% of what the Guru will be. Never forget, the Guru was also a student in his time. So only when you become a 15% capable of becoming a Guru in yourself, then the Guru will come in your life. Now, those who might have had a Guru and those who might have got a teacher who they follow, imagine and look back. You must have done something. You must have changed yourself. You must have improved yourself to that level that now you know that you are at least the 15% of what you the Guru aspires from you. So this is a very simple technique by looking terms of the Vedic science. When you if you have any questions, you can please write down and I will be free to answer after this session. So remember that astrology is very simple. So please do not fear astrology. And what happens is, very simply, that when I'm talking about Saturn, many times what happens, people come to me and most of the people are in this fear of Saturn. Everybody has this thing. Oh, Saturn mera ye kar dega, mera mahadasha chal raha hai. Oh, what is going to happen in this? And when I hear something like this, I hear that dialogue from Munna Bhai MBBS. Ki, ye to kuch gadbad hai. It's like something that it's like, ये तो wrong number hai. I get this kind of a blow up in my ear. And for me, astrology is very it's like a common, you have to look at it from a common platform. So movies taught me a lot. So I learned a lot of my life lessons through movies. So I always try to relate it from that. So Saturn's role is simply like this: to help you pay the karmic debts. If you do not pay your debts, and let's say hypothetically you did something that allows you, let's say you did some kind of a remedy, you wore some kind of a stone, you did XYZ, and at the end of the day, what you're doing, actually, you are indirectly telling the universe that, look, Give me more turmoil, give me more many lifetimes, because the concept of the Vedic science is very simple, that you need to get exit from the cycle of life and birth. I learned the way, when I used to read the Bhagavad Gita initially, I could not understand any head and tail. Once I understood Vedic science, let's say I started walking that path, now I understand, because the kind of people who come to me all over the world, he might be a Christian, but I can still do his reading. He might be in any form, any kind of situation, but I can still write 20 pages for that person. So what does it mean? This resonates with the philosophy of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So what you must understand, that the world is one place and it's one religion. It is not about, people have got this misinterpretation. You are thinking, what did Ram do? He shot an arrow, he killed the the demon king, the Asura king, for, in the sense, to protect against he did something wrong. But what you do not understand, for dharma he had to do that. So what people misunderstand is religion is not dharma, and what is happening all around the world today is in terms of the protection of dharma. So one more secret that I'm going to tell you now, looking at your everybody's chart. Please hold on. You just need to know what ascendant you are. Okay. And I'm going to reveal a secret. So what it shows simply, and when I'm going to now say, share the screen with you and just observe. I've sent all this, sorry. All the charts, it's already sent in terms of the start of it, the webinar and all to you. Now look, you will have your chart and whatever ascendant you are. So to make it simpler, the chart I have sent you with respect to the basic significations of every house in terms of the Kal Purush Kundali, that means 12 houses. But just to give you an idea, I have overlapped it. So for every ascendant, so what I'm trying to tell you here, that if you want to know that in this lifetime, where is your energy going to be drained, the day you're born until the day you die, you are going to be draining your energy in one particular house, one particular signification. So you look at your D1 chart, look at your ascendant chart. So if you are an Aries ascendant, and if you have one number in the first house, like it is shown here in this position, your life is totally going to be revolved around you yourself. It is going to be around your body. It is going to be about your attitude. It is going to be about your physical self. It is going to be about finding your destiny, your health, wealth. So it is a higher signification. In the Aries ascendant, this person will feel all these significations much more strongly depending on their own chart. For a Taurus ascendant, when you have two number sign in the first house and one number will go into the 12th house, what it means that the Taurus ascendant, the entire story of a Taurus ascendant will be based on the whole life. They will be, the body energy is going to be drained towards expenditure, towards losses, towards foreign travel, towards something to do with your left eye, legs, debts, sleep issues, fear from enemy. So this is what you can see very simply. For a Gemini ascendant, the entire life story with respect to the drain of their energy will be with respect to their elder siblings, will be with respect to their wishes, desires, incomes, gains, relationship with elder brothers, uncles. So everything will play with respect to what a Gemini ascendant will feel. When you look at a Cancer ascendant, the one number sign will come in the 10th house. So the person will always be in terms of this turmoil. The energy of their life will be fighting towards getting fame, could be career, could be job, any significations with respect to whatever are there. There are million significations for every houses, but this is a shortcut to see where your life energy is going to drain. Now, why am I telling you this? It is very simple. In all these significations, you must understand that there has to be acceptance. Either you learn and take lot of courses and people will teach you how to become acceptance, or you look at your chart and very simply look in which area of your life you have to start getting a little humor and get into the philosophy of acceptance, because this is something that it is destined for you. You cannot escape. For a Leo ascendant, the one number sign will come into the ninth house. So what it means that the energy in this life is going to be drained towards devotion, going to be drained towards the higher consciousness. It is the house of the guru, father, education, matlab doing higher education, trying to find God, grandson. So any of this kind of a philosophy will or signification will reach out with respect to the Leo ascendant. For a Virgo ascendant, the drain will be with respect to the eighth house, one number going into the eighth house of their chart. So it simply means that a Virgo ascendant, it will be some kind of a story with their in-laws, husband's wealth, could be with respect to diseases, with respect to losses, enemies, sorrows, obstacles, transformation. So all these things will become the energy drain for them. For a Libra ascendant, there, the spouse becomes the drain. It is something that you must remember. Remember that every ascendant has got one kind of a common story, and that is what every one of them will have to play out. For a Scorpio ascendant, the one number will go into the sixth house. So again, the drain becomes for the diseases, the health issues, the enemies in their life. This is the house of the rogue, rin, shatru. So all these kind of significations will play out much strongly for them in their life. For a Sagittarius ascendant, I am a Sagittarius ascendant, one number house sign coming in the fifth house. So where is my drain of my energy? The drain of my energy is towards, this is a solution providing house. It is about your first child. Remember that the fifth house is your first child. Your second child will be the seventh house. So the first child will be the drain of my energy. The children education, the solution providing, this is the house of long-term planning will become the theme of your life. So this is how you can look at it by means of your energy drain. For a Capricorn ascendant, it will be your mother. It will be your home. It will be your vehicles. It will be all the significations with the fourth house. For the Aquarius, it will be your third house. The drain will be towards the self efforts that you put into your life. For a Pisces ascendant, it will be your wealth. It will be your speech. It will be what you eat. It will be your lineage, because second house will become the house of lineage. So for every ascendant, very simply, isn't it so beautiful that just looking at your chart and just this overlap, you can see where your drain is going to be. So every time I always believe that you need to look at your Vedic chart very simply, because what happens is very simply that what you do not understand, that the Vedic science always considers the primarily importance that you need to break the cycle of life and death, and that is where Saturn helps you. How will you get moksha without paying your debts? And that is where, how can you say that Saturn is troubling you? When I started learning on the Vedic science domain and got into this kind of a reason to understand what it is, what the first thing I saw, and why did I enter into the Vedic science to guide people and to somehow, it would be wrong for me to say that to guide people. I am nothing. Again, I want to tell you that way. It is always the divine playing its power. So what happened is I looked at my chart and I saw, the first thing I saw was how to find moksha. Imagine, once I saw that, what is the other important things in my life? So my entire mission became that this is what I need to do, and then it is the exit from the cycle of life and death. So my mission is simply to guide people to find your own moksha. And if you are on that path of moksha, then whatever is due to you will definitely come to you. So why you have to worry on that path? So this is what Saturn does for you. So most of the people generally feel that we will start practicing. I'm doing a course and tuck, I will start like the other healing domain. But you know what happens is, even after you do anything, it will never maybe come to you, because it will always look. If it is a power, imagine, why will the divine trust you with the power? You might misuse it. And that is the reason why many people suffer by doing so many courses and things like that. And I do not know why the divinity chose me in terms of doing some kind of a service, in terms of connecting people to their life purpose. So this is something that you must understand, that always intention is always going to be the prime thing if you are going to be on the path of Vedic science. So what happens is, simply, people generally come to me and they're always in this turmoil. They say, oh, my Navamsha chart, my D30, my D60, wo logo ko dunya bhar people listen and they come. And believe me, and there will be a lot of students who can tell, or whoever has done the session with me, let me assure you कि मैंने D1 एक चार्ट के आगे कभी बोला ही नहीं है. I have never talked about anything because it is so simple, and whatever I am telling you is only from the first chart. So always remember that please try to focus to be in this moment always. When you make this mistake of being at two different places, you're neither here, you're never there. So you must always make a conscious effort to make this kind of a philosophy in your life, that you will be in that place, whatever you're doing, full-heartedly. When the things are out of your domain, that's another thing. Somebody disturbs you while you're doing this, that's another story. But from your own perspective, always work on controlling that monkey in your mind. So this is what you must always remember. Sorry. So what is astrology is very simply that using of energies. So if you do not understand your chart, you will not be able to understand how to use those energy, because the plan is this, that there is some kind of a problem and there is a kind of a solution. So you just need to look at your chart and align it to what you need to do in terms of your energies. So what you do not understand is that when you are listening to a spiritual master, he's elevated in his soul. He looks at you, he looks at your energy, and he can understand कि आपके घर में इधर ये problem है, आपके ये वास्तु का problem है, आपका ये problem है, and this is what the spiritual master does. In the Vedic science, you do the same thing by looking at your chart. So that is why I could never differentiate between two. Because what is the biggest strength? People ask me, why should I learn Vedic science? Again, I'm not advocating anybody to come to me and learn Vedic science. What I'm just trying to tell you very simply, please start reading about it. Why? Because the time to come in the future, it will only help you in terms of holding your ground to the earth when the typhoon will hit. So this is very important that you must understand. So what is Saturn? So when we move now to the presentation and we talk about Saturn, in principle, as I mentioned to the theory of debts, what you must understand that the only way to give away your debt is by doing something about it. You cannot just pray to God and it will never happen. Your actions need to happen. So one of the secret, if you want to see, look at your Saturn, whichever house. I've already shared you the chart with the houses signification from 1st to 12. Okay, so the houses are there from 1, 2, 3, 4 going towards 12, which is the Aries ascendant or Vishnu's chart is the houses chart again, or the ones which I showed you with the significations which I had overlapped. So wherever your Saturn is sitting, that is the area of your life that you have to be disciplined. This is the first point. So look at the Saturn, whichever house he is there. If he's on the first house, that means your life, you have to become disciplined from your own self much more. If it is in the second house, it means you have to be disciplined towards your lineage, disciplined towards your resources. If it is in the third house, then you have to be disciplined towards your courage, disciplined towards your self-effort. Fourth house means towards your mother, towards your peace, towards your comforts, towards your home. So this way, all significations will go by means of the placement of Saturn. But what is the most strongest depth of your Saturn is the 6th place from this Saturn. So if your Saturn is placed, for example, in the first house, then the 6th place from the Saturn will become the 6th house. So you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wherever you will see the 6th place from your Saturn, that will become your strongest debt. So those people who have Saturn in the first house or in the ascendant, their biggest debt becomes towards seva. 6th house is the house of the seva. It is the house of your daily routine. It is the house of the health. So you have to become very much conscious about your health and all the things about the sixth house. So this way you can always look at what is the strongest debt for you, and you need to start doing something about it. So the first important thing that I need to tell you here is that in this world you might be seeing millions of people, but remember there are only 12 types of people. So from an Aries ascendant to the Pisces ascendant, whoever is sitting in along with you or whoever is in this world is only defined by this ascendant. Isn't it so beautiful that the divine has got us in terms of a simple permutation and combination of 12 types of people? Obviously there would be some shades different in every ascendant, but there will be some kind of a theme in everybody's life. I will talk about some ascendant to give you an example as to what things happen. So if you want to do and learn the secret about your life, another technique that I'm going to reveal here now is very simply mark the numbers 6, 8, 10, and 11 of your chart. I'm talking about the signs. So you have your ascendant chart, take a paper, take a piece of pencil and circle the numbers. You have this number in your chart. 6 number will be there somewhere, 8 number will be there somewhere, 10 number will be there somewhere, 11 number will be there somewhere. Write down the significations of this, which I've explained in that first chart which I've sent to you, and you will understand that your entire life story is this. So the significations of this 6, 8, 10, 11 for you will definitely underline that this is going to be your story of your life, which you cannot escape. So once the one number was showing you where your energy is getting drained, but 6, 8, 10, 11 are the 4 chapters of your life where your entire story of your life is going to be revolved. So either you cry about it or you take it in humor and acceptance, see about it, and then you do something about it. It is very simple as that. So why did I say many people reached out to me with this kind of a disbelief? Obviously, in the Kalyug, मैं चिल्ला चिल्ला के आपको बोलूं कि आपके साथ सुबह कुछ ऐसे होने वाला है, तो आपको पहले हमेशा लगेगा कि सर्वेश का कुछ तो इंटरेस्ट होगा, इसको कुछ तो चाहिए होगा, ये अपना ये बेचना चाह रहा होगा, something like this. We live in a Kalyug, it is bound to happen. Obviously, those who know me well, they know something other side about me. But generally, the perception is always like this. I felt it was my responsibility to tell those people, especially by knowing this kind of a science, about what is going to come in April. So what happened is a lot of people got connected to karmic alignment. They connected to Vedic science through me maybe. And I felt it was my responsibility to reach out to the people, to let them be aware. Because if you are feeling that, ठीक है, मैं बाद में करता हूँ, then you're going to lose the time. Because now Saturn has moved into the Capricorn sign, and from the Capricorn sign direct it is moving into Aquarius in January, and now your time for doing all the efforts towards your karma is over. 90 days is what you are going to be left with. So if you are not going to walk on the path of what you need to do, you must understand that you will be made. Why did I say April? I'm telling you the secret also. Jupiter will move into the Aries sign. Right now he's into 12 number. He's going into the Aries sign in April. When the Guru will move into the Aries sign, what will happen to you? One number is your head. So the Guru will make you bow your head to his feet. It is simple as this. So he will make you surrender if you are not following what he has tried to tell you in the last 2020-22. If you have not awakened yourself, if you have not connected, then you will see that there is some kind of a disbalance. Now the secret that I'm going to reveal to you is that very simply as to why do I say so confidently that astrology is the key. It is simply like this, that I'm going to share you by means of my understanding and by means of so for the Kal Purush Kundali, I'm also referring to the Aries ascendant. So I don't need to again draw the Kal Purush Kundali. Kal Purush Kundali and the Aries ascendant is the same. So what I'm going to tell you was secret today, that why do I say Saturn, gives you this kind of an ability through Vedic science to somehow control the transformation, or let's say obstacles in your life. The secret is this: the eighth house is considered the house of death. So generally astrologer आपको हमेशा डराते हैं कि एट्थ हाउस मतलब हो बुरा हो जाएगा, आपके साथ ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. बट एक्चुअली होता क्या है? द एट्थ हाउस इज कंसिडर्ड द हाउस ऑफ डेथ. It is also the house of your transformation. It is the house of your in-laws. It is the house of, there are a lot of significations to this. So what I was looking in terms of studying the Vedic science, and it is always all right to not believe what I'm saying. It is all your free will. I have to just point out from the way I look at astrology. Eighth house is ruled by Saturn. Why? Because it is the house of death. Everybody is aware that Saturn rules your life and death. Saturn also rules the 12th house. Why? Because it is sleep. Saturn can, if you are into deep sleep, your life is over. That means end of your thing. So Saturn holds the power of the 8th house. That is, he's in control of your death, simply as that. Now, why this happens is very simply that, look, if 8th house is ruled by Saturn, it is also the house of occult medium. So occult is defined by 8th house. You must have heard different domains of occult, pranic healing, XYZ, and a lot of things. Everybody has his own standing. But when you are in trouble in childhood, what does happen to you? If you are in pain, whom do you go to? You will always, in a general condition, go to your mother, right? The mother is the only person which actually gives you that kind of comfort. Obviously, there are some conditions where it could be other way, but in a normal scenario, your mother is something that is always going to give you that comforting factor. So if I take this theory and apply to Vedic science, the first house is you. It is about you. It is about everything about you. And the fourth to your house, which is your first house, is your mother. That means the fourth to any house is the higher manifestation of that house. That means if the eighth house is ruled by Saturn, what is the fourth place to this eighth house? It is the 11th house. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the 11 number in the Vedic science is considered the house of astrology. It is considered ruled by Saturn and the higher manifestation of the occult. Why did I come to this awareness? I got out of the 200 plus sessions I have done, there have been 150 pranic healers, all different domains of healers coming to me, because even after doing 15-20 years of this kind of an association with this kind of a healing medium, they could still not find their own answers. And in many of them, I have found that by the time 2020-23 is coming, some kind of power, maybe what they are trying to do is not resonating. So this is what was the awakening I felt, that yes, 2023, because Saturn is going to be in the Aquarius sign after January 2023 and will stay in the Aquarius sign for 2.5 years. If you want to follow Vedic science, if you feel there is an inner calling to you, then there can never be better time than this. Again, I want to emphasize, I'm not trying to advocate that you should come to me. Please open up, something, whatever resonates with you, and start reading about the Vedas, start reading about trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. I've shared so many free articles on Solmitra Facebook. I've shared so many, I've sent links about how to, the translation of what is the meaning of Vedic, like the Bhagavad Gita. Please do read that. So it is very important. Now, awareness is very important. Look around you. In this decade, look around you, and if you see above religion, see the development happening in Mahakaleshwar. Look at the development happening in Kedarnath. Look at the developments all around the world in terms of whatever Mayapuri getting developed. All these things is activating the Vedic, the decade of the Vedic. There are two sides of the coin. In one side, there is going to be turmoil, and one side, there's going to be a solution. The problem is this, that any person who has connected to spirituality, what happens is only when they reach into turmoil, then they start at the foot of that spiritual mountain. Other than that, they're always in this illusion कि ठीक है बाद में देखेंगे. So what happens is divinity works in this kind of a philosophy, unfortunately, because your mind is always in this illusion of not. So it is always, even look at the movies coming now. Ram Setu, Kantara. I'm not talking about, relating to that, understanding to that. But what is happening all around the domain in this world is this kind of redevelopment. Now people are talking about artificial hearts. Soon you have read about things like people have started spray painting the dress onto the walkway on a fashion Paris thing. All about the transformation happening with the kind of the decade that we are living. What we are coming to in the next 5 years will never be the same again. So this is something that you need to be very much aware about. So 10th house is your karma and the 11th is the gains of your karma. So those who have followed, doing their work sincerely, doing their effort sincerely in the last 2 years, you will see that in these 2.5 years, Saturn will reward you immensely in terms of whatever you have put in your effort. If you have been feeling, oh, I've done so many things, but I've never been rewarded, then wait and watch after January. And mind you, this 90 days, you will definitely start observing the trailer in your life. Make a note, keep a book handy, note down the events, however small they may be, happening on a daily basis till 15 January 2023. And that will be the full picture of your life, what is going to come. Always, whenever there is something new beginning, there will always be a slight turmoil in your life. So be prepared to slightly surrender and walk that path. And you will see that these things will start resonating with you. Now, coming to the story in terms of what is the ascendant happening. Now, why did I make a secret thing? And I said that Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Libra, Scorpio, or this kind of a people will be attending this seminar. The answer is simply by means of the circles, what I have shared in the red in the screen. So what is very simply that I'm going to now talk about every ascendant. Kindly be patient because I have to reach till the 12th ascendant. So if you are an Aries, I will begin with the Aries ascendant. The Aries ascendant, the first point that you must see is that wherever now Saturn is going to be there, I'm talking about the transit, not about your natal. Natal means the chart that you are born with, but the red of Saturn means indicates the now the sky Saturn where it is going to be. So whenever for the Aries ascendant now, Saturn is going to be sitting in the 11 number because Aries ascendant corresponds with the Kalpurush Kundali. Saturn will impact sign number 3, sign number 4, sign number 5, sign number 7, and sign number 8. So just to explain to you what I'm going to tell you on what basis, you must understand that wherever there is number 4 in your chart and number 8 in your chart, this is where you're going to be detoxified. There will be end in your situations in your life in that domain, and you will see new transformations happening, provided your other planetary alignment of your chart, your dasha. I'm just going to tell you on a basic theme. You have to look at your chart in detail because it will not happen that every ascendant will go feel like this, but there will be some story, and of course there is some kind of a 40% of your own free will that you must have done, and then the results will follow. So for the Aries ascendant, what's going to happen? There is going to be change in their thought process totally. There is going to be change in their home. There could be changes in their neighborhood. They might move to some another place. There will be change in their vehicles. There will be, there will be transformation in the 3rd house and 4th house, because 4th number or the 4th house for the Aries ascendant will become their mother, their comforts, their vehicles, their house. And because the 3rd is also activated, it means there could be change of neighborhood. And 5th house activation means now the Aries ascendant will start looking and focusing about long-term planning. 2020, 2022, Aries ascendants were only focusing on short-term plannings. They were looking at their life in terms of immediate things. They were looking at what is to happen maybe today, tomorrow. But now with the insight, they will now focus on planning for their future. What do I need to become in 5 years, 10 years? Overall perspective of our life will start happening. There will be change in the 11th sign for them. That means there will be connected to large networks. They will be connected to, lot of people, organization, friend circles. Everything will start opening for them by means of the 11th house for them, and also 11th sign, because it corresponds lot of income gains, lot of changes in terms of the positivity if they put in their efforts. In all I'm talking in the format that people have looked at it in terms of putting their efforts positively in the last 2 years. They will travel to religious places. They will travel to pilgrimages. They might go to places where there are a lot of, water bodies like Haridwar, Rishikesh, or next to, some kind of a, they have to pay some kind of a debts to their ancestors, visit this place. This is what it will show them. Now, from the health perspective, again, I've shared one chart to all of you, which talks about the houses by means of the health. So when you look from your perspective of your chart, this is how the health chart comes about. So remember, Saturn's role is to make you weak with life. Saturn has to slowly, slowly, slowly make you aged. That means he has to make you, in every 2.5 years, there will be one part of your body where Saturn will start making it weaker. There's nothing you can do about it other than focusing on maintaining a healthy discipline towards that body part. So for a Aries ascendant, what it means very simply, that means you will see that because Saturn is coming onto the 11th sign, their legs, they will have some kind of a, they have to be careful by means of their calf muscles, because Saturn in the 11th house for Aries ascendant in this year, 2 years, simply means they have to be careful about their legs. They have to be careful about their left ear. They have to be careful about left arm, or there could be some blood related issues that might come. So any signification of where Saturn is sitting, that is where this chart, will help you to identify. For every ascendant, I've made it little clearer in terms of where those significations are going to impact. So for an Aries ascendant, it will start giving you some impact, and you, if anybody is here who's an Aries ascendant, must have started feeling that there is some kind of a story with respect to this signification. They could have some kind of a pain by means of their knees, calf muscle, leg related issues could happen. The negative aspect of it will be more towards if you are not aligning to your own energies in terms of what you are going to live in this lifetime. Now, what is for the Taurus ascendant? So for the Taurus ascendant, similarly, you see 2 number coming in the first house. I have circled all the areas where they are going to face this. It will bring them good opportunities, traveling to foreign journeys, new investment. Lot of Taurus ascendant will now maybe leave the country. They might have this feeling of going away from their homeland. They could, if they are in Goa, they might go to Bombay. So remember that foreign lands by Vedic science does not mean going only out of the country. In our country, there are so many places where there are different cultures which define like foreign land. You are born in Tamil Nadu, but you move to Pune. So this is what is going to happen by means of the Taurus ascendant. New investment opportunities will come to them. It will be end of the third house signification for them. As I said, 4 and 8 are going to find transformation. So that means there will be some end with respect to their siblings by means of their efforts. For something that they were getting bothered by means of their siblings will not bother them henceforward. 8th house means spouse. The kind of transformation that they were feeling with their spouse is bound to change, or the other way you can see that there's going to be transformation with respect to their spouse. Efforts are going to be dedicated towards moving, traveling abroad, and what is going to be seen that overall they will do lot of short journeys in terms of this coming 2.5 years. Saturn will make them travel extensively and put their efforts in terms of the domain what they are going to this. From a health perspective, the Taurus ascendant is going to feel some kind of a signification with the 10th house. You can observe that chart which I shared in the initial slide later. With respect to the knees, their joint issues, their bones related problems, nerve disorders, arthritis, blood issues, skin issues, and allergies. So this will be something that is going to bother the Taurus ascendant. For a Gemini ascendant, what is going to happen? Saturn will move into their 9th house of their chart. So it will all be about the dharma, about the father, about the guru, about the higher consciousness. The Gemini ascendants are going to feel much stronger implication with respect to connecting to higher consciousness. That calling is going to come by connecting to any significations of the ninth house. They will see some kind of a change in their income. It could be a positive or a negative. They will also get new sources of income. They could get into end of situations with respect to loans, litigations, and any competitions that they will sit. They will see that they will find success. And always this will be dependent on their own lifestyle and all thing. But it guarantees that if you are going to follow the path in the right manner, then the success is guaranteed for a Gemini ascendant in the 2.5 years coming. But the condition is that the person has to make dedicated effort towards where the Saturn is sitting in the transit. This applies to everyone. Every ascendant, wherever Saturn is now in their 11th sign, wherever the 11th sign is in your ascendant chart, that is that area where you will have to make a dedicated effort in terms of those significations of your chart, and then the Saturn will reward you. So Gemini ascendant will find health issues related to their thighs, related to their hips, their bones in general, joint issues, and back related disease. This is the major theme, whereas the health perspective for a Gemini ascendant will come. I love the Cancer ascendant. Now, why do I love the Cancer ascendant? Is very simple, because they do not care for anybody other than themselves. Cancer ascendant, whoever is a Cancer ascendant in this world, will always be thinking only about themselves, and this is their soul behaves this way. And that is why this is the Kundali of Prabhu Shri Ram. Even the Lord Shri Ram could not escape. Look at the number 10 in their chart. It comes in the spouse house. I've to tell you the secret for every ascendant. For example, for a Cancer ascendant, the 10 number, the house of your karma, is in the 7th house. That means your spouse. So in my reading of astrology and understanding, I have found that every Cancer ascendant has a spouse who comes in their life, who has been a business associate with them in the past lifetime, their client or something like this. So he will always behave with them like that. That means he will have this kind of an association. He cannot be a spouse. He will always be more in terms of a business relation. What am I getting? What do you want? Something like this. This is kind of a straightforward approach. Now, there are two ways of looking at Vedic science, I always believe. Either you wait till every Cancer ascendant will have to wait till 36 years of your life, and then that awakening might come to you that I want to start changing my food habit. The soul tells you that enough of this bullshit, please start getting sattvic. What do I mean by sattvic? Sattvic means getting more in terms of getting food consciousness to your own body. That means it doesn't simply mean that you give up everything, become vegan and thing. It simply means that please start looking at your body. What suits you? If you eat A, does it suit your body? And that is what it makes you do. Now, the other way of it is simply this. I look at life in astrology in two different formats very simply. Either you go to that school of astrology who tells you that this will be like this and it is done and dusted. There is this school of astrology. But I believe if the divine is telling you that this is going to happen with you at 36, why can't you wake up little early and start doing it at early in your life? So either you go into this turmoil and you get this message that at 22 you know that okay, it is better for me that I start following this kind of a sattvic diet. Don't you think that your efforts will be rewarded faster? This has been my question always, to connect people to the Vedic science. The choice is always yours. So for a Cancer ascendant, one more secret I'm going to tell you today is this. Look at the 12 number for a Cancer ascendant. 12 number is the feet. That means 12 number is defined as the feet of your guru. 9 number is the guru. 4th to that becomes the feet of the guru. Okay. So what it means, that means for every Cancer ascendant, जिस दिन आपने अपने गुरु के पैर टच कर लिया, now that need not be in a physical domain. Please do not visualize where will I go. Every Cancer ascendant will feel अभी मैं कहाँ कौन से गुरु के पाँव करूँ. No, what it means that you need to surrender actually to the feet of your guru. And इनके साथ होता क्या है, वो बार बार गुरु चेंज करते हैं. कैंसर एसेंडेंट के साथ ऐसे होता है, ऑल द कैंसर एसेंडेंट विल कीप चेंजिंग देयर गुरुज. 3 years they will follow one guru, then they'll feel, no, this is not this, I will go to someone else, and then they'll again go back to that guru after some time. So what you must understand, this is the curse of every Cancer ascendant. You need to surrender to your guru. जिस दिन आपने सरेंडर करके वो पाथ लेके चलने लग गए, and you started accepting some kind of a, everybody cannot be perfect, so if you start following some kind of a shortcomings of your guru also, then the guru's blessings will do the bhagya uday. This is the 9th house for you. That means your bhagya will start changing automatically. So you have to do this. Why? It means simply ki feet of the guru can open the bhagya for you. So every Cancer ascendant from today, if you follow some kind of a guru or a Bhagavad Gita and you touch, or one more technique you can always do, go to a temple. Every time you go to the temple, touch your head to the floor of the temple. Every time you do this, आपका भाग्य उदय होना चालू हो जाएगा. This is a guaranteed thing. So you do not need to do puja, this, that. Your chart can simply tell you what you need to do. So what will happen for the Cancer ascendant? Look at the Saturn. Saturn is now going into the 8th house. So it will bring some kind of an end, and Cancer ascendant will get totally transformed much more. It will detoxify them, because 4 comes in the ascendant, 8 comes into the in-laws area. So you could get inheritance, you could get commission, in-laws might become a responsibility, or they might be no longer connected to you. You will have to put efforts towards your karma. You will have to take work in terms of doing something. Otherwise, it will take you away from where you, from your family, and it will distance you out. Money will come to you from underground places. What do you mean by underground? You might do something. You might become a healer yourself. You might become an astrologer yourself. People will pay you, because in the Vedic science, any money coming through astrology is considered as an underground thing, or an occult is considered as an underground income. You could get insurances, because your 8th house will become heavily affected. So you could end up getting inheritance, all these things coming to you from your in-laws, all this domain. And what will happen? 8th number coming in your 5th house, you will see that suddenly your first child will be something totally different to what that person was. There will be innovation factor, because the 8th number coming in the 5th house, that means your child will be no longer that child you ever thought was. There will be something new happening to your first child. There will be a change in personality within them also, and within you also totally, because you will no longer be the same Cancer ascendant that you were before. So this is something that you must understand. So what is the area where you are going to find health issues? This will be with respect to your internal sexual organs. So you have to be very careful in terms of what these areas. If you go to the doctor, and be very careful in terms of doing your tests and diagnosis and things like this. Then moving to the Leo ascendant. So for the Leo ascendant, the Saturn will come into the 7th house. So with respect to the spouse, with respect to the interaction that you have with the outer world, your Saturn will make you very much disciplined. You will need to put your efforts in this domain, in the 7th house significations. Whenever I'm talking about significations, you can always refer to that chart by means of whatever I've shared in terms of the WhatsApp to all of you, or you can always Google and see significations of 7th house, for example, in Vedic science, and you can find a lot of things. The mastery of astrology is more significations that you master, you will understand astrology much more in a depth. So what will happen for the Leo? It will bring transformation, as I said, in the 4 number and in the 8 number, or the houses 12th and houses 4. That means there will be change in terms of their living, their mother. There will be something happening. Do not think only in terms of negative or positive. There will be some story connected by means of their superiors. They can have issues with their bosses, because what is happening, a major thing is getting played out, because they will go to foreign lands maybe to meet their guru. Their way of looking at life will also change, because these ascendants like Cancer, Leo, all the ones which I said, will find it much more strongly working in their chart, because lot of things in some way the divinity wants you to get connected to some kind of a form of the Vedic science. This is something that I need to put it to you. The expenditures will increase. There could be losses in your life. There could be disturbance in sleep pattern. Person will become very lazy. But it is very important that person should have patience, have some kind of a stable approach in their life. And what is going to definitely happen is that there will be some kind of a karma ending with respect to the fourth house. That means property changes, the person could leave their property, go to a different land and things like that. That will play out for a Leo ascendant. Moving to the Virgo ascendant, the Virgo ascendant, you will notice, is impacted directly in the axis of the third house and the 11th house. That means any Virgo ascendant in this forum today, or whoever will hear this in the future, remember that now they must have suddenly met some of their friends. They might have suddenly had some kind of an issue with their siblings, because there is some transformation happening in the third house signification of their chart, which is the sibling, neighbors, their efforts, writing, communication, and the 11th house, which the larger network circles, NGOs, elder siblings will all be, your friends will be into this 11th house. So what it shows, there will be some kind of a karma endings or beginnings or transformation with the siblings. Issues could crop up by means of father-in-law, difference in the way they will communicate to the world. There could be end of the loan. Saturn will make this person very much self-disciplined in their daily routine now. Saturn says, no, you need to wake up on time, do your things on time. You cannot escape anything. If you do not do this, then I will put it in terms of wherever the circles are there, I will give you issues in respect to that part of your life. There's always going to be this balance of life maintained by Saturn. So there could be change in the source of income because there is a daily routine change. There could be new inventions happening for the Virgo ascendant. And because the sixth house is the house of your daily routine also, there could be change in the job that this person is doing. For the Virgo ascendant, they have to be extremely careful by means of taking care of their kidney, their large intestine, and their uterus, especially for a female. So you should be very particular in terms of whatever checkups that you're doing and things like that. If you go to a doctor, please make this part of your daily routine checkup. And there could be something, because whenever Saturn is moving in any house, it has this tendency to make those areas slightly weaker. So you have to be careful, to be extra precautious. For a Libra ascendant, sorry. Moving to the Libra ascendant, there will be changes in their jobs again. Love affairs could crop up. Saturn coming into the fifth house, the person might meet somebody new. They might fall in love. Be very cautious, be very disciplined in terms of whom you meet and things like that. Do not get carried away by means of illusion. So be careful in terms of the love affairs that you might fall into. You might start something new in terms of education. Fifth house, where Saturn is here now, it is asking you to start something new. Look at a long term in terms of your education, and makes you do efforts related to the seventh house also, by means of efforts by means of your spouse, by means of family issues might come up. You might meet new people. You might, if you are abroad, you might travel to your home country, meeting your people from lineage, old people, because there might be some ending of the old people happening in the future, for which you have to go and meet them, pay your some kind of a gratitude, and something is going to happen. And when you go to your from your foreign land, or you go to your country, or you go to your state, you might get into some kind of an inheritance also, or you might not be getting inheritance also. There could be any kind of a story associated with this kind of your domain. There could be children, that could be childbirth for Libra ascendant who are planning a baby. There could be a good time for them to get into this kind of a thing, where this is a good time. Saturn in 11 number, excellent time for good for babies to come, because they will be born with the knowledge of the Vedic science. Can you believe this? Because Saturn in 11, any person, one more secret I will tell you, any person who has Saturn in the 11th house or the 11th sign simply commands the Vedic science. These people, you will not believe, can get the results of their hard work. If they do something in the morning, the results will come to them in the evening. A normal person might do it today and not get it after 5 years also. So this is the power Saturn gives you. If anybody's chart you see with Saturn in the 11th number and 11th house, you will see these people, though they might not understand it and they might not be grateful towards it, or they might never realize it, but they are the people. If they work hard, they get promotion. If they do this, they get this. Everybody is not so fortunate. So this 2.5 years between January 17, 20, 23 and the next 2.5 years, जितने भी बच्चे पैदा होंगे, उनका Saturn 11 में होगा. So this is why I also say divinity is pushing the world towards better human beings, because Saturn will be in their 11th house, 11th sign, and you will see that these people will somehow be connected and bring about that kind of change in the future to come. So this is the power of Vedic science. So these people could also be connected to a government job. They could, if they're trying for a government job, excellent time for them to get into that, but they have to be very careful to control the speech, because 8 number is in their second house, 4 number is in the 10th house. So they have to be very careful. It is going to detoxify them by means of what they eat, what they are going to talk about. Everything will change. These people will look at their life totally. Lot of Libra ascendants now will change the type of food pattern. They've been trying for so many years to become sattvic, to become XYZ. They want to do this, they want to talk about something. Now the time will come for them when they will start doing this. If they do not do all of this story, then what happens? Saturn has to immediately punish anybody, and then the person has to move away from their house. This is some kind of a karmic debt. Imagine if in this world we are always blaming Saturn, but if they were all people and every person will be a loved one of somebody. So if there is a crime happening, that the crook, the person who is doing the crime, will be a loved one to somebody. And if everybody behaves like this, and they say कि कोई बात नहीं यार, वो तो किसी का बेटा है, तो किसी का कोई है, तो फिर how will the dharma be established? This is the role given to Saturn, which we must all understand. If there is no one person in authority, Saturn represents judiciary, Saturn represents dharma. So it is all talking about that I have to maintain balance irrespective of what, because a mother will never want to punish their own child. So this is what you must understand. Never fear Saturn. Understand the power of what Saturn is trying to tell you. If you do in that kind of a direction, you will see resonation. Now the Scorpio ascendant will find Saturn in their in the 4th house. So there will be a change in their thought process also. 8 number you see coming on their ascendant. Every number which will come on the ascendant will find these significations much more stronger, because it is happening to you at a body, mind, and soul together. So what happens for a Scorpio ascendant? They will find that there is a change in their thought process. They will look at their body in a different way now. They'll be little more health conscious. They'll start walking. They will do exercises. They will do something. There will be new things at their home. There could be marriage in their house. There could be new car they are buying. So 4th house becomes very active for them. They will be having, all the significations coming. But the biggest impact for a Scorpio ascendant is going to be that it's going to be a total transformation in the change in their personality. In my readings, I have seen that most of the ascendants which have come to me, I have come with this kind of a thing, because Scorpio ascendant का क्या होता है? Secret of a Scorpio ascendant is simply this, that the day they start earning on their own, Scorpio ascendants के साथ generally होता ये है कि they are born in a family which they are provided for, they get married in a family that they are provided for. So somehow the test for them is to go out and work irrespective पैसा की जरूरत है कि नहीं. Number 1, this is the first secret. And the number 2 secret is they need to start learning occult. अगर किसी भी Scorpio ascendant ने ये 2 चीजें करा, divinity उनको fully support करेगा. This is the secret that I have always observed in a Scorpio ascendant. So if you have any loved one who is a Scorpio ascendant friend, please advise them this 2 technique. Watch their life after 2 years and you will be grateful to divinity for that. So this is the power of how Vedic science, and this can happen for every ascendant. There are different secrets that you must learn and try to absorb. Otherwise it is, you are only looking at your life in illusion, and भगवान के सामने आप खड़े हो, होना तो कुछ नहीं है, वो तो फिर destiny आपको wait कराएगी, and then at one particular time you are just passing away like our elders did. And this is the years of what the awakening is already started. So they Scorpio ascendant will do good if they put efforts at their competition. There could be changes in their living place, the type of the place they are staying, whatever. Motherhood becomes the focus, because fourth house will become very focused in this person's chart now. That means they could become a mother for their daughter-in-law. It could be in any way. There will be some story happening by means of the fourth house very strongly, and they will be connected to some domain in mysterious ways. स्कॉर्पियो एसेंडेंट का और एक सीक्रेट होता है कि इनके पास जो उनका गुरु होता है ना, जनरली जो उनको वो एक्चुअली मानते हैं, वो आसानी से किसी को बताते नहीं. सो दे ऑलवेज हैव दिस ड्यूअलिटी विद इन देम, लाइक यू नो द 4 8 12, the Cancer sign, the Scorpio sign, and the Pisces ascendant. All the three ascendants, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, अपने असली गुरु के बारे में वो किसी से बात नहीं करते. They will never tell actually whom they are following and whom they are talking to and whatever, but they will show different image about themselves in the normal thing. So by the way, I think I just missed the health significations for the Libra ascendant. I'll just cover them. Libra have to be careful by means of their belly, their means of their spine, liver, and the heart issues. So these are the 4 significations the Libra ascendant people have to be very careful. I'll repeat again: the belly, spine, liver, and their heart. These are the 4 significations the Libra ascendant should be very careful with. For the Scorpio ascendant, from the health perspective, they will have heart related issues, stomach related issues, digestive, ribs, chest, their blood related issues. And for a woman, they have to be very careful by means of their breast and their lungs. Now, it is not important that all the health issues might come up, but you know, some of these significations will definitely start. Now, how do you know and be sure that Sarvesh जो भी बकबक कर रहा है उसमें कोई सेंस है कि नहीं? आपके लाइफ में जो भी आप ascendant हो और जो भी मैं बता रहा हूँ, कुछ ना कुछ ऑलरेडी फीलिंग चालू हो गई होगी, बिकॉज दिस इज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड. 90 डेज का ये ट्रेलर है. कुछ ना कुछ आपके लाइफ में ऑलरेडी जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ ऑटोमेटिकली होना चालू हो गया होगा. You have to be just observant towards everything. For a Sagittarius ascendant, what will happen? Saturn going into 3rd house. Efforts of this person, Sagittarians, have to be very much into the positive domain. They have to put efforts towards doing anything with respect to communication, or going online and whatever. See, if you look at my own story, I'm a Sagittarius ascendant. I started this in the time of 2020 by the means of doing, by God's grace, by divinity blessing me somewhere. But now it is pushing me going into 11, that now the time has come that I have to expand, do more of this teaching worldwide, things like that. And you know, I'm limiting my consultation so that I can do much more of sessions where I can guide people towards doing this kind of a resonation about looking at their own life. So for the Sagittarius ascendant, childbirth will become a theme of life. New entries into their lineage will happen. Foreign journeys will be made. Old expenses, investment, whatever you have done expenses, it will happen. The returns will start coming. I'll give you a simple example. I never planned, if you know anybody who has joined with me initially, I have this system in my, for the last year I was following, that I was taking all the even energy exchange in 2 parts. See, this is how beautifully the astrology thing. So what happens is, what I did in the past, it is now coming back to me as an investment. So for a Sagittarius ascendant, it is all about the old, things that you have, efforts that you have put, the investment that you did in the past lifetime. In any effort that you might have done, the return will start happening. Where is the detoxification happening for a Sagittarius ascendant? It is happening in the 8th house, in-laws. There will be different take with respect to the ends of story or the beginning of some story with respect to the in-laws of your life. By means of your inheritance happening, the 8th house becomes very much activated for a Sagittarius ascendant. There will be new platforms, new businesses happening, new people coming into their life, connecting with new domains, communication. There will be end of the problems. One very interesting thing I will tell you. Around 6 months ago, I read an article and then I did a little of research and I found that Virat Kohli is a Sagittarius ascendant. And if you know, last 2.5 years, what has been happening with Virat Kohli, and now just imagine the day he transit, the Saturn went direct into Capricorn. That day, everybody knows the story, what Virat Kohli did in terms of, showing a performance where the world was thinking that the game is gone out of the hands of India. So now I'm making a blunt prediction over here. Observe Virat Kohli's career in the next 2.5 years. Saturn moving into his 3rd house. Whatever efforts he did, without people being knowing in the last 2.5 years, the return will start coming. He will see this kind of a big boost in his own life by means, because nobody can challenge the kind of efforts he's putting in terms of his work and routine and things like that. So new opportunities coming for a Sagittarius ascendant. There could be change in the living place. Lot of themes of a person could indicate change in the living place. Now doesn't mean that everybody is going to travel, but what it simply means that there will be some kind of positive impact happening in terms of what you might have been experiencing earlier. Those things will end. They have to be careful by means of their right hand, their right ear, and their arms specifically. So from a health perspective, you will see, while I'm saying this, I'm already getting a pain in my arm. Okay, so what is this? This is what it is showing by means of some kind of a pain with respect to the arms, right ear, and right hand for a Sagittarius ascendant. For a Capricorn ascendant, you have to be very particular and disciplined in the way you use your resources. New source of income coming, changes in the food pattern for such person, mother, property, land, construction related issues might crop up, or it might work in the positive format for the individual. Mother's health issues might crop up, could be a positive side or a negative side, because that will depend on each one's chart and their own Vimshotri Dasha. The relations problems will start getting discarded. Now you will find some kind of a solution in terms of experiences of relationships you are having by means of your friend circle or any kind of relationship. You will see that getting you better positivity. You have to be careful by means of your eye, your mouth, your dental issues, and your throat. So you have to be careful in the direction of your eye related issues, mouth related issues, dental issues, and your throat issues. This is what happens for a Capricorn ascendant. For an Aquarius ascendant, this will impact much more strongly, because Saturn will sit onto your ascendant. It will talk about you looking at your life and putting end to something that you are doing and starting your beginning new disciplined approach. New work coming to you, responsibilities coming to you, but be careful not to be lazy and focus on your life in terms of looking at it in the long-term gains. Marriage, property, this kind of a theme will start. Those who are on the way of getting married, there'll be good time for them to get married. Property buying will become a good positive thing for them, and it will end story by means of, if there were a lot of loans piling upon you, then it is time that you will see that the loans will be paid off. There could be end of relationship with your aunts and uncles. It will bring some kind of a closure by means of your relationship in terms of a lineage, specifically with your aunts and uncles. And be careful by means of maintaining some kind of a discipline. By, there could be health issues with respect to headaches, migraine, face related issues, skull related issues, more of mind related issues, some issues with your complexion or with respect to your hair. So this is something that you have to be careful with. Now, when I'm saying careful, that means simply Aquarius ascendant should do more practices of breathing exercises, by making more practices of meditation. Why? Because only by doing breathing exercises or doing meditation, you can control your mind. Otherwise, the malefic planets like Rahu, Ketu are only going to create illusion or put a little poison. And what does the mind do? It does an expansion. You must have gone into a Xerox machine and you see they do 500% up. So this is what Rahu will do. So you have to control your mind towards being positive, and then you can see the things get resolution in your favor. Coming to the last ascendant, the Pisces ascendant. For a Pisces ascendant, I apologize for all those people who are waiting to the Pisces ascendant, but we have to follow this kind of a sequence. So for a Pisces ascendant, you will see that the Saturn will move to the 12th house. There will be gains in foreign income. It might so happen that your association with a foreign network might start. You might move to a foreign land also. जरूरी नहीं है, आपको चार्ट देख के देखना पड़ेगा, but lot of possibility moving to foreign land. You will suddenly discard your old education. Whatever you are doing up to now, you will change your education. It will bring a new form of change and thought process for you. You will not think the same way that you were thinking before. New responsibilities might come to you, but remember to work silently. Saturn is asking you to put in your efforts without doing too much of expectation. One thing of Saturn you must always remember: if you surrender to Saturn, If you work in the theory of karma or yoga, that means you do and do not expect. You are ready for delay, then it will align with your chart. But if you are thinking all the time, I did this and I want this at this particular time, then Saturn doesn't work in your own timeline. The divinity or the planets, for that matter, they are the agents of your change in your life. They are not supposed to be working as per what you want. You cannot do anything about it. You can just align and use your energies in the right way. So this is what will happen. Higher wisdom will start coming to you. Lot of Pisces ascendant reaching out to me just before the transit happened. Why? Because somewhere divinity is connecting to them towards connecting to the higher wisdom, changing of their thought process. See, many times what has happened, you must remember, people come to me, I tell them whatever has been recorded in their chart and I deliver to them. Then the responsibility becomes of the native. It is simply the association and the write up and the story between the native and the divinity. I have no role to play. उसके बाद जो भी हो रहा है वो divine और आपके साथ होता है. It is simply about what you are going to portray in this. There are a lot of people I always see that they totally hate me. They do not believe me at all, but they are the first one who will read my WhatsApp status. They are the first people who will read my article, but they do not believe me. Please do not be like that. Either you do not believe onto whatever I'm trying to portray, or you totally be focused on to not believing in my side of the story, but analyzing your chart and looking in terms of your perspective. So long journeys will be our biggest theme for this 2 years for such people, but you have to work dedicatedly. This will all depend on your Mahadasha also. Specifically with people in the Saturn Mahadasha currently have to be very disciplined towards their approach. Saturn will definitely reward you for whatever you have to gain, but you have to be very careful in terms of the approach that you do. There could be issues with respect to sleep issues. Feet related issues might crop up. That means your toes, something like that with respect to the lower part of your feet. And left eye is something that you have to be very careful with. So these are the three areas of your health that you have to be very careful with. So when I'm talking about all these ascendants, you must always remember that this decade which is coming is going to be very challenging for the humankind, because notice around you, if you are thinking, oh, it's happening in Ukraine, oh, you are thinking it is happening over there, and you're living in this illusion that it is never going to bother me, then you see that the events have already started in this world with respect to in India also, the bridge collapsing, all these things, the Mars in transit, doing a lot of this kind of a story also. It's a prelude to what is going to happen in the future. We cannot escape anything without keeping one foot in the Vedic science. It is my strongest belief, and it is my responsibility to communicate to you. I never wanted to learn astrology in the first place. I never wanted to do the karmic alignment session for anybody in the first place. I never wanted to do teaching in this kind of a format. But when I looked at my chart, this is one escape which I also don't have. It would be very great for me, very beautiful for me to utilize my own time with other domains, but it takes a lot of effort to be doing sessions and writing 20 pages for each. Today, I've done 200 plus sessions, writing 4,000 plus pages, I've got audio recording of all these people of say video recording for 200 into say 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That means 5,000 hours. I've got recording, say 400 hours I've got recording plus of people. And what is the most takeaway from all the session is this, that when I started my first session, I used to always feel how wretched my life is. For example, like we all feel. Now I have 200 stories playing out in front of me, and I see this is all an illusion. Somebody who is a multimillionaire has no contentment. Somebody who doesn't have 100 rupees has no contentment. Somebody doesn't have one child doesn't have contentment. Somebody's problem in life is because those 4 children are troubling them. And what is this? This is all about the Maya, which the Bhagavad Gita has been talking about. So now I always see at the end of my session, I have it on recording, and anybody who's done the session with me can vouch for it, that when I ask them at the end of the session, do you have any other question? 200 out of 200 have never asked me even one single question other than just asking me, okay, should I do this at this time or whatever like this. So what is this? It is all about the power. It has nothing to do with me at all. I do not hold anything. My students know much more than what I also know. But what happens is, you must always remember, and this technique I'm going to share today for the benefit of all of you, please start wearing a watch on your right wrist like this. When you do this and wear it a little firmly, and if you decide ever to follow the spiritual path and walk that spiritual path, what happens is this, that there is a Sushumna Nadi on your right wrist. Okay. And when you connect your time means Saturn is your Kal. When you hold the Kal to your wrist, you will see that awakening of the Sushumna Nadi happens. Obviously, you need to slightly do your practices of breathing, sitting quietly for 20 minutes daily, trying to breathe through your nerve system, breathe through your spine, and you will see the ninth day I challenge you, you will see something different within you. There'll be an activation within you. It is so simple as that. Rest, it is always a divine will. It is something that we need to do in the right direction, which I am making an effort by help of the support of my family. And I just hope and I sincerely pray that all of you will somehow connect, read on your own. Please, even reading articles, spend 1 hour of your day dedicatedly towards Vedic science and anything that you can connect to. You will see the resolution for you will definitely come for your loved ones and things. I always believe in the system of being prepared for what is to come. So if tomorrow in April you are going to ask me a question, Sarvesh, what should I do? Then the answer I've already told you 6 months earlier. So this is what is the belief, and eventually, isn't that what life is? In any domain of your life, what does a person become successful with? Simply with foresight. All the multi-millionaires, all the people who are you see and you think are successful, immaterial of the materialistic values they might possess, they are only successful because of the vision that they possess. So remember that you need to have this kind of an alignment of looking at your chart, looking about the theory of Vedic science, look beyond it and transform yourself. You have been given an opportunity in the last 22 years. How many of you have woken up? I don't know. If I look around the world today, I think people have forgotten COVID also. So the mind works very faster. We are already thinking we are out of everything. But what is going to happen and what is going to come is going to be much more powerful, where you might not even get time to make a second action. It is not about portraying fear, but it is about the truth and reality. So thank you for your time. If there's anything you want to ask me, I will try to answer you here or whatever. So Ziva, if you could kindly unmute everyone, and if there's anything somebody wants to ask me, one at a time. And if people have to move on to their own things that they want to do, they can always, they're free to leave also. And if anybody wants to ask me any question, please do not ask me कि मेरे साथ अभी ये क्या होगा. Do not ask me a predictive question, but ask me primarily in terms of your philosophy and your thought process. Okay.
Yes. Everybody can
Yeah.
unmute now. Whoever
Yeah.
wants to ask a question, please raise your hands. Digitally. From reactions.
I think Kirti wanted to ask, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirti.
Sarvesh, can you hear me?
Yeah, please. If you could speak slightly up, because I think, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was like, for past 10 days, it came to my mind that I should start reading Gita.
Right.
Suddenly, like, okay.
What ascendant are you? If anybody wants to ask a question, please first, if you can
I think
tell
it
me
is I think it is Cancer. You only told me.
Yeah.
For whole my 40 years of life, I thought I am Taurus, but you told me no, I am Cancer. So I am like going by
just
that.
to make it very clear for everybody, the simplest process to see your chart is you go to an Astro Sage Kundli app, you put in your timing of your details and birth and whatever XYZ, and then you press the button and it shows you the Lagna chart, Lagna. Lagna chart comes, which is also known as the ascendant chart, also known as the D1 chart. For this lifetime, this chart is enough for you. So do not get into this confusion about Navamsha, Dashamsha, all these things. Leave it for the next lifetime. By doing 200 sessions, I have never looked at any other chart. So let me tell you this category. So get that inhibit whatever thought process you have, that is out. So now you have your chart. लग्न चार्ट, दैट्स इट फॉर दिस लाइफ टाइम, आपको बस ये देखना है और कुछ भी देखने की जरूरत नहीं है। वैदिक में क्या होता है, द वैदिक चार्ट इज डिफरेंट, व्हाई, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट अबाउट योर Western astrology. The rising sign on the Eastern hemisphere at your time of your birth is the most important thing, which changes every 2 hours. So like a calculator, it is accuracy. That means now you're accurate to that 2 hours. That's it. It is
Yeah.
not about, like, the sun sign will make you think about 1 month, moon sign will make you think about 2.5 days. But when you look at the ascendant as a Vedic science, it is about 2 hours. So accuracy on a calculator comes down to 2 decimal point. This is what you have to follow. Now, one more thing people will generally get confused with. Now, when you see the ascendant chart, now you have the D1 chart in front of you. First, you see the first number in the which is the first house. If it is 1, you're an Aries. If it is a 2, Taurus, and so on, you will become the ascendant. Now look where the moon is in the chart, anywhere. So if your moon is in the 6th number sign, then your moon sign is Virgo. You have to look at it like this. If your moon is in the 8th number sign, now your moon sign is Scorpio. If your moon is in the Capricorn, it is now your moon sign Capricorn. So this is where the moon comes. Now you want to know your sun sign in Vedic. Remember this. If you want to know your sun sign in Vedic, you look where your sun is. If your sun is in 5, that means you are a sun Leo. If your sun sign is in 9, you will become sun Sagittarius. So what is the meaning of sun, moon, and ascendant is very simple. Ascendant is you, moon is your mind, and sun is your soul. Simple. When you look at your chart, this is how you look at it. So wherever your moon will be in your chart, it will show you where your mind is. For example, if your moon is in the 4th house, you will be strongly connected with your mother by mind. Because why mother? Mother is 4th house. Moon sitting in the 4th house means your connection to the mother. So on. Always look at charts simply. Most of the people make this mistake. Even after doing courses, they are talking about Navamsha to me when I am talking only about the D1. Simple as that. आपको आगे देखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. You're going to miss the bus. Why? Because you're never in the moment. Just stay there. Just stay in the D1. आपके लाइफ के सब आंसर आपको मिलेंगे. ये मेरा गारंटी आपको. बस आपको अवेयरनेस करना चालू करना पड़ेगा. Yeah, sorry, Kirti, you can please continue because I just wanted to answer for so that most of the people can clarify this. Yeah, go ahead.
So like I'm Cancer ascendant, and like when I met you 2 years back, like everything started changing, and I'm more into now giving, like giving in terms of education and food, and like so 10 days back only I thought that I should start reading Gita, which I never did, like so which is the best way to start, like I can pick up any Gita like I have, which my mother gave when I got married, that I am still having. So I thought it will be better to start with that.
I will tell you one thing, with respect to any form of Gita is okay. But what is simply that are you ready? Is I'm not making a personal thing. You have to get that awakening within you. As I told you, I get people, my aunts, somebody reaching out to me who might be 80 years old. They have been reading the Bhagavad Gita for the last 40 years. And they are asking me, can you explain to me this meaning? So what is more important that you must understand, please do not read just because you have to read. आपको हमेशा ये बोला गया, इसको पढ़ो आपका ठीक हो जाएगा. लेकिन actually you miss the bus. What it is very important to understand that what is it meaning for you or your family is more important, not for the world. Every time you read the Bhagavad Gita, I can challenge you, if you start reading it in such kind of a dedication by means of being aware, not expectation, every time the meaning will change. Every year the Bhagavad Gita's meaning changes. It is written in the Shastras that every yuga the meaning changes. भगवत गीता का श्लोक सेम रहता है, आपको उसको देखने का नजरिया चेंज होता है. Why? Because the yuga has changed. In the old days, I always say this, 12th house, foreign lands was a banishment. Today, all the people आज इतना रेडी होंगे कि पासपोर्ट मेरा सरेंडर करो और मेरे को यूएस जाना है, मेरे को सिटीजन बना दो उस कंट्री का. See, what is happening is, I always laugh after all my sessions to my own self. I was also among those people who wanted to run away from this country and find that, okay, I will find satisfaction in the A place. Today, 200 people are telling me, I am sitting in Australia, but I want to be going to New Zealand. That is where happiness is. New Zealand is telling me I want to go to Australia. For me, happiness is there. I don't find comfort here. America is telling me and asking me all the time, is it the right thing I'm doing? Should I go back to India? Indians want to go to America. So the whole world is only wanting to go somewhere. I came to a realization, if you want to really go in terms of this awakening unto you, go within yourself. Start looking within you. Don't look at your husband, don't look at your child, don't look at anybody. Spend your time. The biggest reason why COVID happened was that people sit in one isolation and look within. This is where the humanity misses the bus. Until you do not start looking within yourself, how will you start realizing what you are and what can you do also, unless you do not even know what you are? This is what is very important. So the thing is, see, I've also done a Google document where I've translated in my little
Yeah, I see.
understanding what Vedic
Yeah.
science is. So if you want to read the Bhagavad Gita, for the start, I will always advise you, you read one chapter, then you try to read what I have translated. So that will give you some kind of a bearing of connection. Over slowly months, so you would make a practice, read one chapter today, read what I have written in terms of the translation. Next day, start the next chapter, read what is the inference of the second chapter. Complete 18 days, start the first chapter again on 19th day. Always do it without expectation. The people generally what they are doing, हम भगवान के सामने खड़ा हो जाते हैं, ऐसे आंखें खोलते, तो थोड़े लोग तो बीच में आंखें खोलते हैं कि अभी हो गया कि नहीं, कुछ ऐसे सोचते हैं कि सबका टाइमिंग अलग होता है. But always visualize that Nandi bull outside the temple. He is waiting for his master to get up. When it will happen, nobody knows. Shiva is meditating. When you have read in your childhood, when the divinity is meditating, it can just pass off into like 10,000 years. Nandi is not waiting कि अभी 6 बज गए और मेरे को घर जाना है, मेरे को ये करना है, मास्टर गया तेल लेने. So he is waiting. And what people told us, go and tell your problem into the Nandi's ear. So what has been the problem is our connection and the way we are looking at it. But thankfully, I have seen, look, let me make it very clear. Among all the people I know, I many times even wonder why divine chose me to do something like this where I do not know anything. Imagine, इतना मैं बकबक कर रहा हूँ, कितने लोग मेरे को स्टूडेंट्स वो सोच रहे होंगे, आप लोग सोच रहे होंगे, अला साला इसको तो बहुत कुछ आता है, मेरे को कुछ नहीं आता. I can tell you very clearly, all my first sessions or even the courses, I always tell anybody who's wanting to join DHRISTA Sutram, they will tell you the first session I'm telling them, please don't learn. Why? Because if you do not have that kind of surrender and expectations, reason, reality of what it is, then remember that आपको वो दिखाएगा ही नहीं कुछ जब तक आप उसको हैंडल नहीं कर सकते हो. आपको अगर कुछ दिखने लग गया आपके फैमिली के वजह से, आप जब तक हैंडल नहीं कर सकते हो, if you do not understand the bigger essence of life, then it is never going to be coming to you. So please look at it to be focused in, as I said, moment. Always live in this moment. Do whatever you're doing in terms of interest. Give that 20 minutes in dedication. Keep your mind there, and then you will see it will come. You know, I used to always run away from meditation. Itne many sessions attend kare, and it is a common theme, right? The videos are playing, somebody is talking, music is there, you're told to visualize the bird, you're told to see the lake, and whatever XYZ. And I was always thinking to myself, कि साला मैं तो इतना पापी हूँ, मेरे को तो साला कुछ दिख ही नहीं रहा है, समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है. लोग तो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे कि मैंने इसको देखा, मैंने उसको देखा. तो मेरे साथ हुआ ये, that while I was just doing breathing exercises one day, that awakening in me came. Why? My Shushumna Nadi activated, and it is said that once a person gets activated through Shushumna Nadi, चार्ट ना आपको बोलने लग जाता है, आपको कुछ भी जरूरत भी नहीं है. दिस इज अनदर रॉन्ग नोशन पीपल हैव कि आपको डेट ऑफ बर्थ चाहिए, चार्ट चाहिए. कितने लोगों को मैंने बस द टाइम ऑफ देयर क्वेश्चन, दैट मींस व्हेन दे केम आउट टू मी, वॉच देखा एंड उनको रिप्लाई किया और आंसर किया, ये करना चाहिए, व्हाटएवर. सो द पावर ऑफ वैदिक साइंस इज इमेंस, but you have to be able to hold it, be able to look at it from all perspective, and only then it comes to you. Because when somebody comes to you, he is coming for margdarshan, he is coming for direction. And if you are going to be involved in your own problems, you do not know how to put your issues of your life in different containers, then you will see that it will never show you what you need to see, something like this. So the idea is, start reading, start reading with without having any expectations. Try to understand what it is, and most importantly, do your actions. कर्मा करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आप किसी को खाना खिला रहे हो, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ट्राई टू डू समथिंग फॉर द अदर्स, डू समथिंग फॉर द नीडी. आपके पास जेब में 1000 रुपया है, 10 रुपया का तो किसी को आप खाना खिला सकते हो. 100 रुपया है, कुछ तो बिस्किट खिला सकते हो. यू आर ऑलवेज देयर टू डू समथिंग. In the theory of Drishti Sutram or the karmic alignment, I have never till today advocated any rituals to be done in terms of divinity, mandir jao, ye karo. And you know, today its life is like a business where people have come to me and said कि सर्वेश, मेरे पास ये देखो लोगों ने ये पैकेज बोला है, आपको सैटर्न का ये दोष है, तो आप ये करो, ये पूरा पैकेज है आपका. ये है. कितने लोग मेरे पास ऐसे आए कि एस्ट्रोलॉजर ने बोला ये अंगूठी पहनो, 2 लाख की, 3 लाख की, एंड ये सब कुछ हो जाएगा. इट इज नेवर गोइंग टू हैपन. इफ यू रियली वांट टू डू समथिंग, आई ऑलवेज एडवाइज by doing mantra chanting, depending on your own chart, you need to look at it, and offerings. These two things will never go negative for anybody. चांटिंग करने से किसी का बुरा कैसे हो सकता है? किसी का बुरा कैसे हो सकता है? आप किसी नीडी को खिला रहे हो, किसी को भी कुछ भी दे रहे हो. So this is always in terms of the practices that you need to work, and it will come to you, and always be in terms of this kind of thing, and look at life in terms of very positive thing like that. Okay, Kirti, you have any other question?
Yeah, like about Cancer ascendant, you said like life partner, we have to pay a debt. So any clearance on that? Like,
first of all, you have to laugh, because if it is
Okay.
the truth, then there is nothing that you can do about it other than just surrender. Simple as that.
Okay.
I get Cancer ascendant, and when I tell them the story, their instant reaction to my discussion is this: why? I will manifest it. Who are you? There have been cases where people have told me this. See, I can only tell you what the chart is saying, and I'm talking about every Cancer ascendant. And any Cancer ascendant can come back to me and say, you know, this Sarvesh, what you're saying is totally wrong, and I will, say sorry, whatever. So in the Shastras, it isn't written. Prabhu Shri Ram ka Cancer ascendant tha. How do you remember Prabhu Shri Ram? Do you remember because of any other thing other than more about Sita getting kidnapped? Tell me, any one of you. If you think about the story of Ram, the first thing that will always come, Sita, spouse. So every Cancer ascendant will always have this story, his spouse. And so there are every ascendant has some secrets. So kuch na kuch to aise hoega, you cannot escape. So I always tell people that you need to start looking at your life in humor. 60% is destiny. उधर आपको हंसना है, acceptance करना है. अगर आपने ये सोचा कि छोड़ो, मैं पार्टनर चेंज करता हूँ, नया पार्टनर मैं विश करूंगी, आई विल डू मैनिफेस्टेशन. आज तो स्टाइल है, मैनिफेस्टेशन कर सकते हो आप कुछ भी. आपको कैसे पता है कि आप जो मैनिफेस्ट कर रहे हो आपके लिए अच्छा है कि नहीं? ये गारंटी है आपको, तो प्लीज करो. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस. सो कैंसर एसेंडेंट को बुरा लगता है अगर मैं उनको स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बोलूं कि आपको ये अपना कर्मा कंप्लीट करने के बाद शायद आपको मिल सकता है. यू हैव टू वॉक दैट पाथ फर्स्ट. बट थिंकिंग, oh, this guy I'm shunting out for my marriage, Sarvesh, can you please tell me कि जो दूसरा आएगा वो sure shot, this is the person I will get. I have these people who come to me, and even after writing 20 pages, giving in writing, they will come after 6 months and ask me, Sarvesh, मेरे husband का chart देख के बता सकते हो कि divorce कर सकते हैं क्या हम? And I tell her, you have a chart like Marilyn Monroe. You, even after marrying 6 times, you will still have 7th guy problem, and you will always face this issue again and again and again and again. It's your choice what you need to do. So this is what you must understand, and understand in humor. And what is very important, see, मैं एक बहुत सीक्रेट आप सबको रिवील करता हूं कि आपका 7th हाउस जो होता है ना, वो आपका स्पाउस होता है. ओके, एंड स्पाउस इज योर एनिमी फ्रॉम योर पास्ट लाइफ. सिंपल एज दैट. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, see, आपको, why do I say this? And it is the biggest karma you have to pay to get moksha. आपके वाइफ के साथ आपका कंप्लीट, वाइफ हो या हस्बैंड, उनके साथ आपका अगर कर्मा आप कंप्लीट नहीं करते हो, you cannot escape. Look at the Kal Purush Kundali or the Aries ascendant. 10th house, the 10 number will be in the 10th house. You count anti-clockwise from this, will come the 7th house. So कर्मा का कर्मा कौन है? आपका स्पाउस है. Simple as that. You have made an association. आपने लास्ट जन्म में एग्रीमेंट किया अपने स्पाउस के साथ कि बॉस हम दोनों मिलके एक दूसरे का निभाते प्लीज. तो ऐसे करके आपको, जब तक आप सरेंडर नहीं करते हो, it will never have. Now, obviously, there are different facets to it. Now, when I'm saying like this, आप बोलोगे साला वो तो मेरे को पीटता है, मारता है, तो मैं surrender करूँ? No. Then you have to walk that path on a spiritual path, and there are other facets to it also. It is not so straight. Everything in life cannot be so black and white, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else wants to ask a question?
Okay, Pooja Bhargav.
Yeah, Pooja.
Raising her
Ask.
hand. So I'll just ask to unmute her.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarvesh, for
Yeah.
such an amazing and knowledgeable session.
Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio ascendant, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you please repeat like two things you mentioned? One was studying occult. What was the other one?
I am sure that you're already doing something in occult, right? Something related, something to Ayurveda, something to with the underground.
Yeah. Yes.
So I was talking about change in the thought process. You will look at your body differently. See, when you are doing something into, like, for in your case, I know that you're doing Ayurveda. So what you're doing, you will do something transformation with your own self and then bringing to the world. So this is the first thing that will happen. There'll be new house, there'll be new car, something happening. There'll be change in the personality, your mindset, all the competitions that you will enter that will get you efforts. And there could be simply the revolving and transformation on yourself, because 8 number coming there, and your motherhood will become the main focus. Now you are going to be expanding. You are not going to be only the mother for your own children. You will become mother to the world, which you are actually doing, right? So now you are giving that kind of a comfort to the people. You have to be, there will be a lot of mystery in you. People, when they look at you now, they will find that कुछ तो इसमें अलग है, कुछ तो mysterious है जो आप भी explain नहीं कर पाओगे. This is thing which will happen, but you have to be careful from the health perspective with respect to your stomach, heart. The fourth house signification. Basically, it's talking about the part below your the chest area and lungs and all these things. So that is something that you have to be careful. ऐसे नहीं कि आपको कुछ होएगा ही होएगा, but कुछ ना कुछ आपको उसमें shade जरूर दिखाई देंगे.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you should.
Okay.
Yeah, you are right. I'm facing some digestive issues at the
So
moment.
90 days ट्रेलर, सब जितने लोग हैं ट्रेलर चालू हो गया होगा. जो मैंने बोला एसेंडेंट देखो, कुछ ना कुछ आपके लाइफ में अवेयरनेस की बात है. We are sometimes not so busy in our old thoughts that awareness doesn't come to us. So this is something that you have to be careful, and you will.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Sanil, I
Mr.
think.
Sanil.
Yeah, hi. I'm a Gemini ascendant, and I think the path to Guru will probably be happening. How will that happen? I mean, will it be naturally, or I have to do efforts on that 15% front?
See, what did I say? I said very simply in the technique. I don't know if you maybe you joined little later. The 9th house is the Guru in the Kalpurush Kundali, and the 10th to the 9th is your 6th house. So the real story is this, that your Guru, whoever will be the Guru in your life, has been a student somewhere. So only when you will qualify to become 15% of the expected Guru coming to you will the Guru come. So how do you become the 15%? By imbibing the qualities of your expectations of the Guru. अगर आपको लगता है कि मेरा गुरु ऐसा होना चाहिए और आपके माइंड में ये इमेज है गुरु का, उसका 15% जिस दिन बनोगे, आपके लाइफ में गुरु वॉक करके आएगा. Simple as that. And always remember, people are of this misinformation or misconcept that उनको लगता है कि गुरु मतलब physical form में होना जरूरी है कि नहीं. This is something that I have always made a mistake. मैं गुरु ढूंढता रहा कि कोई मेरे सामने आएगा, कोई सामने आएगा, but sometimes that guru can be also within you in terms of knowledge. That awakening could be enough to become like a guru for you. Simple as that. And Kalyug में गुरु मिलना आसान नहीं है. So you have to be careful on this. That means you have to look for the Guru within you, and divinity will always support you. So always have that kind of positive thing. Become 15% of the expectation of the Guru. One liner is simple as this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Anil, sorry.
Sarvesh bhai, I have a generic question. Okay,
Yes.
Nothing with my ascendant. Now what I realize after this session is that Saturn's influence on every house and every ascendant is very strong.
Yes.
How is it different from somebody who's undergoing a Mahadasha or Sadesati Manta Payami?
See, look, very good question. Most of the people always have this thing on Saturn only. People will always do Saturn. Okay. So look, from a perspective of if you have to follow Sadesati, Choti Panoti, all these things will happen. And if you really start fearing this, if you'll notice that if you look at your Mahadasha, Vimshotri Dasha, whatever, your life will have 60% of Saturn time. Simple as that. So it is not possible if you go into the fear factor कि Saturn तेरा बिगाड़ रहा है, so that means if it is not possible that Saturn is going to destroy you. Is it? It's like saying 60% of this world is destroyed. I do not believe it. Right, number one. For anything to happen, positive, negative, everything, Saturn has to play a role. Okay. Only the difference is this, that when your Mahadasha starts or Antardasha starts or anything with respect to Saturn is there, it is like much more effort required in that direction. In that time, you have to behave like the planet, not only Saturn, any Mahadasha. Since you have maybe never listened to that part of the story when I've always explained, you have to become like the planet. So when Saturn Mahadasha starts, Saturn Antardasha starts, you have to be ready to become disciplined, number one. That means you have to maintain discipline in your life, maintain sacrifice in your life, maintain things where in your mindset, power of now. Think about today, do your deeds properly today, not about tomorrow and day after. Because the time of your life you have to adjust as per Saturn. Saturn will give you, never deny, but delay will be there. So what he's doing, it is giving an opportunity to do it much faster. So from my perspective, if you have a Saturn Mahadasha, you are most lucky because now you get opportunity to pay your debts for not only this lifetime. You might be under this impression that this is my only lifetime and I'm paying your debt. There is a technique to see how many lifetimes you are taking the debt to this lifetime. Okay. So that means it can become much more powerful, but it can give you the opportunity that now please in this lifetime pay it back. And Saturn gives you that opportunity. Why? Because he's slowed down the clock. When the clock is slow, you have more time to perform. It's simple as that. When you have a retrograde planet in your chart, people get scared. Oh, retrograde, now much more. Retrograde means what? Further slowing down of clock. So it's made the time stand still. Simple way to understand or handle Saturn is this, that you stop worrying about everything. Because once you've got everything under control, that is why Saturn rules spirituality. In spirituality, what are you doing? You're stopping time because you're only doing in terms of surrender to divinity. And then Saturn knows that you're on the right path. It is simple like that. But this is only a thing. But if you are going into anybody over here, Saturn की महादशा आपकी चल रही है, Saturn का दिन है Saturday. If you want to see changes in your life, start sacrificing on Saturday. What do I mean by this? Start fasting. Don't eat as the way you are eating, like I want to just eat and eat and eat. Please learn to give sacrifice. That means from dawn to dusk, provided your health supports you, you should go lean in terms of your health, in terms of eating practices. You should sacrifice one thing that you love. If you love an ice cream, make a commitment. In the Saturn Mahadasha, I will never eat ice cream. If I'm doing this, so Saturn wants you, is going to test you. Are you ready to make some kind of a discipline? He will test you. I am running through Saturn Mahadasha. I am doing all these practices. The most hardworking day of my life is Saturday. I see that I plan my Saturday in such a way that I do much more work instead of lazing around and thing, because Saturn is expecting you, please do. It doesn't mean that I'm done this and suddenly mere ko return milega. That is, Saturn is saying, I will give you 100%, but don't expect time, power of now. And what is happening is, like if you read Eckhart Tolle, he's talking about power of now. He's actually in praise of Saturn, if you ask me. Time is Saturn, and he's talking about Saturn. He's not saying Saturn, but is only focusing now. आपने अपनी जिंदगी को, if you start focusing on now, then you see most of your problems are gone anyways. Your problems are only because your mind is thinking about now. 2 baje, what I'm going to eat, my wife is going to cook or no, my this is going to do or no. So the awareness only comes by keeping your mind in now. Enemy kaun hai? Moon. Another technique, moon, wherever it is in your chart, showing so many unfulfilled desires of your past lifetime. That house is showing that life you have so many lifetime, what you have done, turmoil, going in and out, I'm only doing this. And wherever your sun is sitting, SUN, it is showing the way forward. And 99% of the cases I have seen, people see, like you go to a doctor who is a specialist for cancer, who is a dentist, you do not go to. So in Vedic science also, the people, whoever may come to me, even today which you are attending this seminar, आपका chart मेरे chart को attract करता है. That means it is coming by means of some kind of a thing. So I have seen lot of people who came to me, and why I realized that all of them had this some kind of an association that they had to learn astrology. And obviously there is no thing to hide from my perspective. देखो, जब मेरे को awakening हुई astrology point of view, my school of thought is to look astrology and aligning your life purpose. Isn't it my responsibility and isn't it my way of life to teach people? Obviously लोगों को क्या समझना है वो उनकी point of view है, but my responsibility is to tell them आपको मेरे साथ सीखना है कि नहीं, वो आपका free will है. It is your point of view. But if I get this reading in my chart and I have to say to the people that please learn, and it is better that somehow I can guide people in terms of their own chart and thing like that, that is their call. Now the difference is this. From my belief system, I know कि जिस बंदे को भी मैंने बोला आज के तक इनके रीडिंग में कि यू नीड टू लर्न एस्ट्रोलॉजी, आने वाले टाइम में वो आके मेरे साथ कनेक्ट होंगे सीखने के लिए. ओनली द डिफरेंस इज प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन. दे आर ओनली गोइंग टू दिस टर्मोइल ऑफ प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन. दे आर वेटिंग कि उनके लाइफ में कुछ XYZ होगा, या फिर उनको लगता होगा कि सर्वेश तो साला फ्रॉड है. whatever their point of view is, this is not my wave point and my thought process. I have to do what I have to do, right? So it is about this. People generally are asking me many times, people may have this thing philosophy. I had this discipline. If मेरा बस चलता ना तो मैं वैदिक साइंस को 1 करोड़ में सिखाता. I would make the price of the thing so high, because this is what I believe in the thing. People today are very conscious. फ्लाइट आपको लेना है, कोई आपने अगर दुबई जाना है, डू यू आस्क द ट्रैवल एजेंट प्लीज मेरे को 2000 डिस्काउंट दो, कोई ये करो. सो व्हाई वैदिक साइंस आई शुड बी लाइक दैट? दिस इज माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. Many people are coming to me from that perspective and thing like that. I am never looking at my life in terms of monetary. I do not intend to become multimillionaire by doing this. It is something that divine brought me. And Sanil, to you to know, you are from my own family and you know that I would be the last person coming into something like this. And what it is thing, when it comes to astrology, when it comes to Vedic science, it is a temple for me, which I will never disregard from the point of teaching, by point of directing and things like that. So it is something which is very high and on a higher platform for me, which time will tell. It is all up to the divinity. But in terms of what is this, it's an entire command and respect that I have. And as per my last day on this earth, whereas Vedic science is concerned, I'm always passionate, I'm always committed, and I'm always going to do in terms of what is in the belief system. Because look, Facebook, the world today, in whatever you see is an illusion. Wait for April to come and the bubble will burst. What you are seeing today is all under the influence of Rahu in the one Aries sign. जो भी आपको दिख रहा है दुनिया में, whatever you might be having thought process, आपको कुछ ऐसे लगता है, wow, this is XYZ. Wait for 14th April to come, when Jupiter will connect to Rahu and all the bubbles in your life will burst. And that is the time you will remember what I said in this session. And this is my challenge to each one of you. So this is what it is. So only my point of view is that I need to say this now, not at that time. Now I knew this is going to happen and this, no. So now make the best use of this knowledge. Pay gratitude to the divinity. For the seminar that I've done today, help one person in need. Help go out and do some gratitude for somebody. You might be able to feed somebody. You might be able to help somebody. कुछ नहीं तो एटलीस्ट किसी का एक प्रॉब्लम सुन लो, या फिर एटलीस्ट उसको कोई ना कोई सोल्यूशन दो. कुछ ना कुछ तो आप में एबिलिटी होगी जिसके लिए आपको शायद you might have to pay back, and that is nothing better than doing this. My answers, Sanil, are always long, so you'll have to bear with it, okay? Because it's all I cannot do a short answer, so because it is always connected. But I hope you got the message. If you have any other thing, you can always ask.
No, I got it. That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
Next person, I'll just unmute.
Hi, Sarvesh, Mukta this side.
How are you, Mukta?
I am good. How are you?
Very good.
Your commitment to Vedic science is infectious.
Thank you very much for saying that.
Hats off for that. So my question is simple. I think you told both me and Alok to wear the watch, but I'm not sure if you told it to wear in the right hand.
Anyway, आज सुन लिया तो आज change कर लो.
Acha, ठीक
it
है.
doesn't matter like that, but I'm just saying from the perspective that if you want to awaken it in terms of अगर आपको problem आ रही है, when I met you, I remember, I know that there is a soul within you who is an astrologer. Okay. So now it is up to you. आने वाले टाइम में कभी ना कभी तो आप मेरे पास आओगे, इसमें मेरे को कोई ये नहीं है. तो वो टाइम की बात है. मैं वेट कर रहा था, आपको उस टाइम बताऊंगा. आप आज पेन लेना राइट हैंड में, इसमें कोई ये नहीं है.
Done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next person, I'll just unmute. Okay, no, it's already unmuted.
Yeah, Shibu, tell me.
Hi, Sarvesh.
Yes.
The ascendant that you mentioned, like is it as per the star sign?
No, it is up to the Vedic science. That's why it is not to be looked from a Western astrology. So as I mentioned, you need to go to the app like Astro Sage. It's a Vedic map.
Okay. So I'll have to go and check it out there.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to wait only one day.
Okay.
So just hold your horses.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarvesh.
Yeah, welcome. Yes, Seema.
हेलो
Yes.
सर, आपने बताया था कि हर एसेंडेंट का अपना सीक्रेट होता है. इट
हम्म.
होल्ड्स इट्स ओन सीक्रेट. सर, वर्गो का एसेंडेंट का सर क्या सीक्रेट है?
अभी मैं ओपनली इसमें नहीं बता सकता, बट बेसिकली जब तक आप सेवा पे कनेक्ट नहीं होते हो, योर लाइफ का द टर्न अराउंड विल नॉट हैपन. सो अंटिल यू डू नॉट, इट्स अ बिग एसेंडेंट फॉर सर्विस. दैट मीन्स अंटिल आपका मन से आप सेवा भाव में नहीं कनेक्ट होते हो, तो आपका टर्न अराउंड नहीं हो सकता. एंड वर्गोस में प्रॉब्लम ये होती है that they're always criticizing people, they're always looking at mistakes. So what divine tells you is mistakes निकालना analytically, तो positive काम में लगाओ. So that's why Virgos can become good lawyers, they can become good document checkers, things like that. So you have to use your energies in the positive way. There are a lot of secrets, but they are very much like point form. I cannot explain for every ascendant. And so maybe you reach out to me personally. I will see, because I cannot share all of them also, because you need to be ready to understand life into a different thing. Because most of the people are thinking कि ठीक है ऐसे होगा तो ऐसे ही होगा. जरूरी नहीं है कि ऐसे ही होगा. आपको कुछ करोगे. Maybe see, my way of looking at astrology and whatever I'm talking from a astrological point of view is the study of what the sages have done for 5,000 years. I am decoded the chart and I'm doing through DHRISTA Sutram or karmic alignment. After 100 years, जो आप स्टडी करोगे, मेरे स्टूडेंट्स ने या जो भी सेशन किया, उन्होंने क्या किया, उनके लाइफ में क्या हुआ, that it will be more fun to see. So maybe the next 2 generations can decode and see कि ये practices करने के बाद उनका ascendant में ये changes हुआ कि नहीं. Like for example, I said cancer को 36 पे नहीं तो awakening आएगी सात्विक food के लिए, लेकिन मेरे किसी को suggest करने से उसने 18 साल पे करना चालू कर दिया. Then how quickly what happened in his life, there are a lot of stories to it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so
Arvind.
now, yeah, I'll just okay.
Arvind, don't ask difficult question. Huh? You're sitting with a cancer.
He doesn't want to ask it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sarvesh, first, thanks for this session. And it's very nice that we both are attending it. It's more meaningful to us. What I want to know as a Cancer ascendant, the main theme of the next 2 years, you said, would be transformation in equation with in-laws, is it?
Just hold on, let me see. I also forgot now. Basically, Cancer ascendant is going to feel a major transformation, because when the 4 number comes on the ascendant itself, it is going to transform you as a person in terms of your thought process. It must have already started. Don't think about 2023 hoga, and that, as I said, the trailer always starts from the thing. But with respect to the, some kind of responsibility, workplace changing, karma is getting heavily activated, even money coming. It could happen that you're going, like for example, underground the earth ka matlab kya hai? You might be doing some business with respect to plants also, like you are into that thing. So all these things can happen. So you have to not relate and look at it chart only short sightedness. Aapko pura dekhna, spectrum
That's
badhana
what I
padega.
wanted
Yeah.
to ask.
Yeah. So, but it will change the your personality totally. If somebody meets you after 4 years, मतलब somebody who's not met you 4 years ago comes in front of you in February, he will be shocked. He will be like, "Arey, this is not the person I knew," and things like that. So this is how it will transform you totally. That.
Okay, and you also mentioned transformation in the older child,
Yes.
the first child.
हाँ.
Okay, so these are the two main themes for Cancer.
Yeah. So जो मैंने ascendant को बोला, जिस वजह से आप लोग सब इधर आए, like whatever I said, they are going to be playing the major theme. Saturn wants you to hear. There are two parts of the story. Either you hear and do nothing about it and just think कि मेरे साथ ये क्यों हो रहा है, whatever हो रहा है, or you know about this and you work on that alignment. Simple as that. And it will always, since you have both of you have done the session with me, so I can tell you, see, it will always correlate to your chart. Now you go back to your reading also and you see, because it is a part of that. It is not like it is working in isolation.
True.
आपका कौन से टाइम में भाग्य उदय होता है, which part of your life you get the lesson, what you have to this, so it is all linked to that. There is a story happening.
Okay, I just wanted that clarification, and I think I've got the answer. Thanks.
Turmoil in the people's life is always why, because our karmas, as I always say, are in 3 brackets. First is your sanchit karma that you are carrying from so many lifetimes. So it is possible, right, that you did everything right in this lifetime, but still you're going through some issue. Why? Because that has happened in the past lifetime. You have to pay the debt. You don't just remember it, that's all. Then it is something with respect to your prarabdha karma. That means what you are accumulated. Today I'm 44 years mein whatever I must have done, that is a prarabdha I'm carrying. And something on a kriyamana karma, that means I'm doing now. For example, you all have got this message now. It is the free will that you possess, that I can do this or no. Should I do it or no? It is your free will. Sarvesh cannot come on the other side and make you do it. I tell a lot of people to do X, Y, Z. Will they do it or no? It is their point of view. Until you do not have your mind under your control, my point of view is only this. कि now if you feel आगे जाके मेरे साथ A, B, C, D हो रहा है, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि Saturn आपको क्या बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा है. I am giving you the antidote much in advance, because I always believe in this kind of a story. Don't go to the doctor when you are gone into that kind of turmoil. Go to the doctor early, only do your test reports, everything. Now you know cholesterol आपका high है, please do something about it. Or you wait for that time that now you're going to get hospitalized. See, now in the sessions that I do, people, मैं अभी क्या करता हूँ, like even many people now, since the last 2 sessions I'm doing medical astrology as a free consultations to all the new people who come to me. So from your chart, can you believe it? It is destined disease. आपको ये डिजीज डेस्टिनी से होना है, संचित कर्मा से ये डिजीज होनी है, और ये होनी है बाय मींस ऑफ योर फ्री विल. So free will you can control, but predestined disease you can fight it off by knowing what is going to happen. Isn't it amazing? So you know from your time of birth only कि आपको uterus में problem आने वाला है, so you have to be careful. So there are a lot of ways to look at Vedic science and आप इतना imagine करो, मेरे को जो मैं चिल्ला के आपको बोल रहा हूँ, आप मानो न मानो, मेरे को कुछ पता नहीं और मैं इतना बता रहा हूँ, तो सोचो जिसको पता होगा उसको कितना पता होगा. If you go to see from that perspective. So there is nothing in the book. Remember this. It is always in the awareness. Because ऐसे masters बोलते हैं कि अगर आपकी सुषुम्ना नाड़ी अवेकन हो गई, जो मैं आपको सबको बता रहा था स्टोरी, then आपको किसी भी चीज की जरूरत नहीं है, आपका कुंडली बात करने लग जाता है. This is what spiritual masters do. They look at you and they tell you कि आपका ये problem है, without even the chart. This is how they do it, because उनकी सुषुम्ना नाड़ी activated होती है पूरा, तो उनको सब कुछ दिखने लग जाता है आप में.
Okay, just one request, or I just want to ask you, is it possible that whatever you share of the ascendants and the areas which would be the main theme, could you share it with us, or will you be sharing it?
I have not thought about it. It would have been better कि आप लोग सब, see, what I can do is, if you want to think, I have not thought about it, putting it in a public platform right now, because
no, maybe as a personal list with maybe by through email or WhatsApp or whatever, because sometimes we tend to forget. That's why, at least I do.
See, I cannot commit right now,
Okay.
but honestly, because I would, from my perspective, I don't want to sound rude, but I just want to maintain a discipline specifically with Saturn is concerned. Okay, because otherwise I would have always, it is very easy to just put a post and thing like that, but I don't want to do something like this, because regard to the discipline of Saturn is very important. But having said that, let me see, maybe not in the immediate thing, I'll need a little time to compile it and put it in the format like that. And if that happens, I will definitely share.
No, why I'm asking is I already know through the session we did with you and whatever for my husband, me and the children. So I just wanted that kind of this guide, and that's all.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Kirti.
Yeah, you suggested that like we chant mantra. Okay. So mantra can be of our belief, like whichever mantra we believe.
Look, two answers to that. If you really connect to whatever you feel you belief system, that you can do whatever belief system you do. But from my perspective, from a karmic alignment, I need to study the entire chart, and many people over here who have done the session with me, I have to look at your chart and there is a specific mantra which aligns to your chart.
Okay.
That is not possible to just say like this.
Yeah, and any specific time like
No,
we
that is
should,
not, that I don't believe in this. Always it is better. Why they say, another secret, that if you really want to change your life, most difficult thing to do, but start waking up at 4:30.
I usually like, ये हो रहा है मेरे साथ कि अपने आप like 4 बजे, like it's around 3:55 or 4:10 I'm getting up, like
So
अपने
even
आप नींद खुलती है.
it is always happening parallelly. If you are telling me मेरे को calling आ रही है भगवत गीता पढ़ने का, तो automatically आप 4 के आसपास उठने चालू हो जाओगे. And this everybody should do. If you feel anxiety in your life, start getting up at 4:30. Within 1 week, your anxiety will come down to at least 50%. Obviously, don't get up at 4:30 and watch Instagram and Facebook and that thing. You need to do good use of it also. चाहे आप काम करो, कुछ भी आप कर रहे हो, do little 20-minute chanting, breathing exercises. Give fodder to the Ketu, the spiritual quotient of your soul. That is very important.
Thank you.
Okay.
And today's session was very good as always, like whichever I have attended. Thank you,
I hope it
Sarvesh.
will help, and it will be really good. You try to imbibe it in your daily routine. We all have, not only you, even me, we have another 6 months to get under training. So it's like a bigger picture to develop,
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the transformation hope, like, let's see. It has just started. Yeah.
So that's what I said. Just surrender. Don't get a timeline attached to it, because putting a timeline will always bring you in turmoil.
Yeah.
Just walk it. Just walk the path, because at the end of the day, none of us can guarantee if we're going to be alive tomorrow morning. So we have to keep doing our work and keep doing an action, put a smiling face, do whatever it is in your possibility. On your own, you should not try to create harm or do anything for anybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Any questions? Otherwise, we'll end this session. Thank you very much. I hope it helped all of you. And it was nice that all of you could make up your time, and my apologies for something if I've not been able to communicate properly or put it across to you, whatever. My intention is always positive for each one of you, and whoever will listen to this maybe in the future, that be prepared, but don't be scared. And it's simply like this, that that there's a traffic red light somewhere. You don't get scared of it, but when the red light is there, you need to stop your car. So that is something you need to understand, and look at your life, look at your family members. And while you're doing all these things, please be resonating with this entire world, because the entire world is also one family. We cannot escape anything, and walk on that path, and things would be good. Thank you very much for your time, and hope to meet you again soon and in the future sessions. Okay. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.